Hey, what's going on, guys? Alan here with the Leadership Plan. Recently, I flew on a flight from Austin, Texas to Burbank, California, and I was fortunate enough to sit next to somebody who had started her own business as a leadership/marketing coach, mostly for CEOs of companies. And she was retired. She did that for like 20 years, and I started asking her questions about information that she'd gleaned after 2 decades of working with CEOs. And so that's what this video is about. This is the advice that she gave me on that flight that she learned from all of that experience. These are golden opportunities that will present themselves, especially if you're open to these sorts of things. All right, so let's get right into it. The first thing that she said to me was she would tell CEOs, don't believe your own press. As you'll see there's 4 of these. The first 3 are all really about getting out of your own way. And I think as leaders, it's really important to understand that your limitations can be the thing that really are an anchor that pull you down and stop you from succeeding. So in this one, don't believe your own press. I think another way to say this is to just talk about what's called CEO disease, which is where you start to insulate yourself. You can see this happening on the world stage right now with Vladimir Putin. He has an extreme case of CEO disease to the point where he's not really getting any real information anymore. Everyone laughs at his jokes. This is what this looks like in an office environment. Everyone laughs at your jokes. Everyone agrees with your plan, and you unwittingly or wittingly, in some cases, like in the case of Vladimir Putin, you've put yourself in a situation where you're in just a vacuum bubble, and you're not getting real information. And the real danger here is that without real information, you can't make real decisions to navigate the future and guide your organization or your office or your team to success. So that first one is super important. Don't believe your own press. Don't believe whatever it is that you're saying about yourself, that your organization says about itself. You need to go and get real data. You need to make sure you have a system in place where people within your organization are comfortable and okay with giving you even bad news, right? So don't believe your own press. Hey, as always, if you're finding something useful in this video, please consider hitting like. That way, YouTube will send this video out to more people who can get this information. Thank you. The second thing that this leadership guru/coach to CEOs told me was, get rid of your ego. So this is what she would say to CEOs, get rid of your ego. I think in many cases, folks that are driven enough to get to the point where they are in the executive suite, they probably do have oversized egos. You can see that a lot in organizations. You're probably thinking about people right now that like your supervisors report to, that do have quite large egos. They do believe that they are the smartest person in the room often. They're more successful than everybody else, and they think that that really is because of how hard they work and how capable they are, how much more capable they are than everybody else. The problem with this, so some of that stuff might be true, but like in your case, if you start to feed into your oversized ego, again, these first 3, that's all about creating blind spots for yourself where you're not able to function properly as a leader because you in that situation have taken over, and again, you're not in a situation to get good information and make good decisions because you are, in this case, you think of yourself as like the center of the universe, right? You have an outstated ego development, and so you don't see the people around you as being adequate enough to be able to help you to navigate certain situations. This is the exact opposite of what good leaders do. Good leaders will delegate, they'll give authority and responsibility to people below them to be able to manage situations. Going back to the parallel between Putin and Zelensky, Zelensky's army was trained by the West, primarily I think the US Army, over the last like 14 years to prepare for this sort of fight or invasion with the Russians. And so what they did is they decentralized everything. They gave command and control decisions to unit leaders. So people that are leading just small groups of teams, they know what the mission is, and you tell them this is your objective, you need to go and do this, but you let them work out step by step how to make that happen. This does a lot of things. It gives the people underneath you a sense of ownership. It stimulates them as well because they're able to engage their brain and make decisions without having to refer to you constantly. On the other side, we can see with the Russian army that the exact opposite is true. So generals are having to go up to the front line. And then the West is providing signal intelligence to the Ukrainians, so they know that that general's there, and then they send in a kill squad and kill him or her, and probably mostly him. But this is what I was saying before. Your ego is your own worst enemy when you start to become a leader, especially over much bigger organizations. If you can't get out of your ego, you'll never be as effective as you could be. The third thing that she told me was that she tells CEOs was, don't only listen to your direct reports. If you don't have people that are reporting to the people that report to you, like in my case, I don't really have, I'm at that level, right? I'm at a director level. So I have people reporting to me, but there's nobody reporting to people that are reporting to me. Lucy, sorry, this is my dog. She barks at the mail lady. So in my case, this doesn't really apply, but I think the message here is for a CEO is to not believe the people that are directly, so you need to trust and believe the people that are reporting directly to you, but you should also go and find other information. This is a lot like number one, like don't believe your own press, and number two, kind of get out of the way of your own ego. You should be looking for information about your organization in real time from people that are below the people reporting to you. I think that this is a really important message that CEOs can gain a lot of insight from by going a couple tiers below them and figuring out what's actually going on the ground. And that's the other problem, right? When you're a CEO disease is not just that everyone around you is telling you what you want to hear, but it's also that you don't have access to the boots on the ground, if we want to continue with the military analogy. Go and get information from people other than those that just directly report to you. So like in my case, what this could look like is that you are getting information about how your office is functioning from your direct reports, but then you go to an allied office and you ask them for information. What experience do you have in working with my office? Or you go to your customers, right? Whether those are internal customers or external customers, and you ask them questions specifically about the performance of your team. That's going beyond just your direct reports and getting information from them. Okay, the last point that she made on that flight from Austin to Burbank was to find visionary time. She also described this as just being open to whatever. I think this is really good advice. It's good advice for anybody that's in a leadership position, indeed anybody that's trying to achieve something and work on anything. What I do, for example, when I'm stuck in my office and I'm stuck in the inbox and I'm stuck in the grind, is I will actually go for like a 10 or 15 minute walk, and I will intentionally think about the things that I need to get done strategically. And this is a moment where I can allow like creative juices to flow and just ideas will just pop into my head. You should also keep a list of these things. I use notes on my iPhone. Just keep a running list. Some of these ideas are going to be golden, but they're going to come to you when you're in the shower, or they're going to come to you when you're driving your car or walking your dog. When you're doing something else that's not work related, these ideas, these visionary moments will come to you in the weirdest times, and I think it's really, really important to write them down. All right, that is a short video on 4 tips for CEOs that I learned from a 20-year CEO coach that I flew with in coach from Austin to Burbank. I will see you guys in the next one.